Alright guys, to finish this chapter, let's take a look at the meta-inf directory and see what files are in there and how those values gets calculated. It's not that necessary to know, because the only thing I can imagine of that you need to know this is in case of any tamper detection, but at least it's nice to understand the whole structure of this, and it's really not that complicated. So I open up the directory. We have decompiled this application and build it back again, and then decompiled it again. So this one right here. In the last step, we have seen that now we've got the meta-inf directory that contains our certificate info, but what's in there? Here we have the RSA file, and this is the signature. We've got the SF extension, which is the signature file, and we've got the MF extension, which is the manifest file. So let's have a look at the manifest MF. And here we can see all those single Android files that are packed in this binary. We have, for example, this game OGG file right here, which is a music file. And underneath this file, we got this SHA-1 digest, which seems to be a base64 encoded string. We can see this because of the equal sign at the end. Now let's take the string and have a look what this is. I open a new terminal and I use echo and pipe this through base64-d for decode. And here we can see, okay, this looks some binary, this looks like some binary content. So we pipe this through XXD. And here we can see, okay, this one looks like a hash. So this is the hash of the file. But now's the question, what is a hash? A hash is some kind of one-way operation. So you put you throw your input into some kind of complex algorithm, and at the end you get this representation of your single bits. So this is some kind of, let's call it checksum. It's not really a checksum, but this makes things a little bit easier. And this is some kind of checksum about your file. And the nice thing about a hash is you cannot reverse this. So you can throw your input into those complex algorithms and you get this value, but you cannot return from this value back to your input. And what's also nice, if you change one single bit in your input, you get a complete different hash. I will show this to you. So we now calculate this SHA-1 digest of the original file, then we make a modification, and then we look at the difference. And the reason why you might need all this stuff right now is regarding to tamper detection. Now we just calculate this hash. And how can this be done? Well, first let me go into the directory, because otherwise I have to provide the whole path, and this would be super ridiculous. So assets, music, and here we've got this game file. Now I open this directory right here to show you this file first. So here we have the game OGG, and if I play this, you would see or hear, I guess you would hear, not see this, some kind of background music. So this is the game music. All right. Now let's calculate this hash, and this can be done with OpenSSL. OpenSSL should be installed on your distribution already, on your Linux distribution, and it's a super nice handy tool. Okay, we use OpenSSL and we say SHA-1 because we want to generate a new SHA-1 sum of this file, and we say read this file in binary mode. And then we have to provide the file name, which is game OGG. And here we can see, oh, these looks pretty identical, but to make sure we base64 encode this one. And here we can see, yes, these are now identical. If we compare those two strings, these are identical, and we can also see this is the SHA-1 digest right here. So this file contains all those SHA-1 digests of all files. Now let's have a look at the signature file. So going to the out directory, original, meta-inf, and now let's have a look at the signature file. The signature file looks similar to the manifest MF at the first look, because we have now again all those files and the corresponding SHA-1 hashes. But let's have a look. This one here seems to be different. And the reason why this is the case is this file makes a SHA-1 hash over the manifest MF entries name and SHA-1. I know this is a little bit complicated, but let's break this down into single pieces. Therefore, I open those files side by side. Okay, on the left we've got the manifest MF, and on the right we've got the signature file. On the left, we've got a SHA-1 hash over this file within the name tag. And on the right, we've got a signature over the name tag and the hash in the manifest.mf file. So first of all, don't worry, because all these steps are being performed automatically by the signing process. If you sign an application, this is done automatically. So you don't need to know how to do this. But it's good to know how these values are being generated, because there might be this one application where you have to modify or adjust this hash in this file right here. And then this knowledge comes handy. Alright, to recap this. On the left side, manifest.mf, we've got all hashes for these files. And on the right, we've got a new hash about the file name and the hash that has been calculated before. So these files just make sure that the application or the files are in a correct state regarding to tamper detection or regarding to corrupted files. So if a file has been damaged, this file can notice this fact. Alright, this is all you need to know about those two. The last one is the signature. We also take a look at this one, of course. And afterwards, we take a look at a real world vulnerability regarding to signatures and signing an application. So here we have the RSA file, which is the signature of this application. And we can simply print this out. So I open a new terminal, and this time we use the key tool command. We use print cert, and we provide this file. RSA. I'm gonna enlarge this to give a nice overview. And here we can see, yes, this file has been signed with this following certificate. And this was our certificate during the signing process. But we cannot do something with this. This is just public information. And unless we do not have the private key, we cannot use this. But it's good to know how you can read those stuff, because you might find additional information. Maybe some kind of additional company that maybe has this app developed or things like this. So it's worth taking a look into this file right here. All right, and that's the last point. So for now, you can completely understand the whole Android structure. You can see. All right, and this is the last point for now. So we have, all right, and that's it regarding to the meta-inf directory. Now you have a fully understanding of the whole Android application structure, which is super nice. And this is the base, during our course for further exercises and challenges and things like this. Cut. All right, that's all you need to know about the meta-inf directory. We have finally finished this whole theory part about the Android app structure, but it's really good to know how all these things come together and how this works. And these are also super handy for our further challenges. So in the next section, we take a look at a real world example, a real world vulnerability. And then finally, you have your master challenge for this chapter, where you have to modify those resources. And now you are equipped with all the skills you need to do this challenge. So feel free to browse through all this directory and make yourself familiar with this. And if you have any questions, please drop them in the comment section below. And for now, I'm looking forward to see you in the next section.